A very good evening to you watching UBC TV. Thank you so much for keeping it with us. Now, this day, the 28th of August 2019, is another day written in our history. How the Church of the Provincial Church of Uganda has today gotten the news of the new Archbishop, the 9th Archbishop of to take the stewardship of the church, and that's none other than the Right Reverend Dr. Stephen Kazimba, who is still the current Bishop of Mityana Diocese, the Anglican Diocese. He has been elected by the House of the Bishops, and he will take the mantle when the official date comes. That will be somewhere next year, first March next year, 2020, when Archbishop Ntagali will officially hand over to him. We want to know, how is this election held? And we shall look at other things. I have the Provincial Secretary of the Church of Uganda, and that is the Reverend Canon William Ongeng. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We are so honored to have you.
Thank you.
How do you look at this day, 28th August 2019?
This day is very special. The reason why I'm saying it is very special is a day that we have been praying for.
Okay.
Since 2018, in the 24th Provincial Assembly, that was held at UCU Mukono, when His Grace, the Archbishop Stanley Tagali, announced publicly that on 1st March 2020 he will retire. Then constitutionally it required that an election be held to replace him. And this election, which is held today, had been prepared for some times back, because if an archbishop, the sitting archbishop, declares his intention to retire,
Preparations to bring in a new one.
the preparation to bring in a new
Start
one
right away.
starts right away from the dean of the province.
What happens on that day?
What
Do
happens
people
on that-
submit in their CVs? Do people show interest, express interest for this post? Because it becomes a vacancy advertised.
Exactly.
In our form of view of employment.
Exactly.
So do people submit in their interest? How do we get the candidates?
Now, when that day comes, like today came, what they first do is to gather at the cathedral. By constitution, this election is not done anywhere. It's done at the provincial constitution, which is St. Paul Cathedral, Namirembe, which is here in Kampala. And when that day comes, then they have what they call the Holy Communion. They go in, they pray, they have their Holy Communion. Do you understand a Holy Communion? Yes. When you understand what a Holy Communion is the gathering of believers sharing the body of Christ,
Yes.
to show their solidarity. So now when it is done, when the Holy Communion is done, then the Chancellor of the province, who is a lawyer by profession, becomes the chair of the house of the business.
Okay.
So when he sits on that chair, and no any other person is allowed there apart from only the bishops and him as the chair. Even me, the provincial secretary, I don't sit there because I'm not a bishop, because that is the House of Bishops' business. So from there, then the constitution say, if that vacancy is there, they will choose among themselves one. So which means the one, how they arrive at it, is how they vote inside there.
Now I'm already worried.
What for?
Because because being that you're also locked out,
Yeah. No, it is not
yet I
locking
want
out.
to know how now they come to arrive to that very first that one person, like now Dr. Kazimba today.
That is the question where I
What happens? Have you ever like peeped inside and know?
no peeping. No peeping. These things are very clear. The constitution say when the chancellor sits there, then they give nominations of names.
Who nominates these names?
The bishops themselves. I stand up to nominate you, my fellow bishop, if I wish that you become the archbishop.
So I may acknowledge your nomination or turn it down.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so.
So fellow
So-
bishops nominate colleagues.
Colleagues.
Okay.
That I think so and so can God can use him for our leadership.
So they start voting.
So yeah, there is no campaigning of saying now I want you to vote for me. I want so and so to vote for. No, that is not there. It is about their prayer.
Why? Isn't that now against the will of somebody?
What will?
Because if you nominate me
And you don't want.
and I'm not interested,
Yeah.
I'm not even given an opportunity to say something to the electorate democratically and their issues.
Do you know the difference between this and the other one we are talking about, the other political position?
Tell us.
This one is about service of God. All of them, God have chosen them to serve. And God can give them any position to serve at. Not only to wait and say, I don't want to serve here, I don't want to serve there. If God calls you, you have
The
to
answer is supposed to be only yes.
Yes, you have to do it. You have to do it. Even Stephen, who has been elected today, he did not even know. He never even campaigned. No bishop reported to us that, so-and-so is campaigning. No. It was about prayer, and the Lord led them to give him their wish that Bishop Stephen, please take over.
But now you're a senior servant in the church.
Yes.
You should know. What are those qualifications that make somebody stand out among all other bishops? That can make somebody an outstanding figure to take this big
One of the
office?
things is in our human perspective, because you must also have a standard as human beings where you can begin, the foundation on which you stand. The first thing is that bishop. First of all, you must be a bishop who is serving. That is a standing out thing. Two, you must be a bishop who is 50 years and above. You must have attained 50 years of age. And those two criteria make every one of them who are 50 and above legible. And you are going to serve for 10 years. You see this? Now, Bishop Stephen says it's 57 years. So it's going to serve only for 8 years. Then it gets to 65. So your service must take you to the retiring age, which is, we call it in the church, mandatory retiring age at 65.
At that very point.
Yes.
There is belief that Anglican church bishops retire so early. By the age of 65, somebody still looks very physically strong with an open, free mind that can really continuously serve. Can't this be changed to at least 75 when somebody at least physically should also retire?
I think it is not yet now, because that is what the Constitution provides at the moment. If they so wish in future to say, we want also to remove the term limit to age limit to 75,
actually.
something like that, to 75, it is upon the proposal of the Provincial Assembly, because it is the Assembly that has set these rules. It is not them who has put that rule.
What is your view as Canon Ongeng?
As Canon Ongeng, I would feel,
because if you look at the Archbishop retired, Dr. Orombi, my good friend, he's a very strong man.
and he's still preaching.
Yes. So, him being out of office, I think the church is missing some strong services from strong
I
men.
think that does not limit the gospel. The gospel is still going on strongly in his life. And even Stanley, who is retiring next year, do you think he's looking weak?
Neither.
Very strong.
Actually,
That
that's
means-
why many people thought that he was retiring before 65.
No,
Because he doesn't look old.
he doesn't
looks a
look
very young
that
person. So don't you really think there is need to change this?
I cannot declare
It's
that.
limiting the church
It is
from...
something for the Provincial Assembly of the Church of Uganda to consider.
Okay, we have the Archbishop already, the retiring Archbishop and the elect. So what happens from now? What do the systems task us as the church? Give us to wait for. What do we wait for? What next?
So now what we wait for is, we already have in place the committee that is going to do the work of the organization to see that the 1st of March 2020 takes place. His Grace, the current, the incumbent, is still going in dioceses to say farewell. He still has about 14 dioceses to say farewell. He has gone to other dioceses. That is, we thank God for that, and we thank God for keeping him and safe, and he's still sound to continue. Meanwhile, the elect will also continue with his business in his diocese.
Till the first of...
Till that day when he is now installed Archbishop.
Okay.
So things go normal.
We
To avoid conflict.
We thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much for
God
the time
bless. Yeah.
and all the information we have shared.
Thank you.
Yes, his name is Reverend Canon Captain William Ongeng. He's the Provincial Secretary of the Church of Uganda. We have been sharing information to do with the systems. How do we move from the retirement of an archbishop to ushering into a new archbishop, just as we witnessed today? These are things that we normally don't follow, and we find ourselves adding in what we think should be the right thing. So at least today, we go with a very clear picture. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. We thank you so much for watching. Please keep on UBC TV.
Thank you.